All right, there we go. We're on. And go over to Soccer Chat. Oh, did I do the wrong thing? I think I did. I did the wrong thing. Okay, I need. Here we go. This is what we needed. Hurry, hurry, hurry. There we go. That's the link. Hate this freaking browser. Oh my goodness. Why does my browser hate me? Okay. Latest. Okay. All right. As we get everything going here, it is this is kind of what we do here when we are recording Soccer Chat. We just kind of BS things around, and we're happy that anybody who's watching is hopping on here real quick, but just kind of get things going on what we're doing here. This is how Nick and I record, but we want you guys to be interactive and send us your tweets still, comment along with anything that we're talking about. You can still do that using the hashtag Soccer Chat, so make sure to use that, so that way we'll still be getting your questions or your comments that you may have, whether you want to say that Nick is very stylish for this late in the evening, or you can say, man, Sean, your house is really dark, but that's kind of how it is. So, up to 7 viewers. This is awesome. So here's the thing. Like we just said, for those that just got on, keep using the hashtag Soccer Chat, and Nick and I will answer your guys' questions and comments. We want this to be very, very interactive for this part of the show. So we think you guys are going to like it, and you'll kind of see what we do here as we get ready to record.
Cool.
All right. And everybody can hear me mess up however many times I normally mess up. But all right. Got your stopwatch?
I do.
All right. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? This is Soccer Chat. It's your weekly episodic podcast for coaches by coaches. It's brought to you every single week by the good folks at Social Media for the High School Athletes. You can check them out online at socialstudentathletes.com and all over social media platforms at HS Social Media, because then you can check the show out for free every single week by using any platform that you're getting your podcast on, whether it's Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your your podcast, you can be getting Soccer Chat there thanks to the good folks at Social Media for the High School Athlete. This is a listener-supported podcast. It's supported by people just like you who are listening to this or watching it. We'll get into details about that here in just a little bit. By sharing out the links, we always put out the links for all the platforms when the shows come out. If you can send those out to your coaching network and friends, we greatly appreciate that. And you can also support us by going on to Apple Podcast, iTunes, whichever you want to call it these days. Leave a nice little 5-star rating and review. Make sure to leave your Twitter name or email address on there so Nick and I can personally get in contact with you. And thank you for listening. Wow, this is the Soccer Chat after party, is what we're dubbing this. He's Nick. I'm Sean. We are doing this live. You can check us out just still using the hashtag Soccer Chat. Send us any comments or questions that you may have. And this is going to be the first part of our episode coming out this week. So, Nick, how has your week been?
I'm just really impressed. You didn't screw that up at all. That's a lot of pressure doing this live and to not screw it up. It was pretty good. My week's good. We have actually a long week before a conference game this week. So I get a little bit more time to train and teach some things. So hopefully I can actually teach us to do some stuff. What about you?
Had a lot of games this past week, and I've got a tournament this upcoming weekend, as some people may be listening to this on a Saturday. Something that I've come to a realization, and I've known this for a while, but my current club team I'm coaching is 13s, like seventh graders, or 12. Is that 12-year-old for 7th grade? Anyways, they're 7th graders. And they've got this like middle school soccer thing that they play. And they also are playing club too. I have kids. This is no joke. Training twice a week with me, maybe one training session with their school team, and at least a minimum of 4 games every single week for the last month. And they'll still have that going into next month too. That's way too much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think also the crazy thing is the amount of games kids play too. You were talking about training sessions, right? Or was that games?
No. So they have 2 training sessions with me. Yep. And they may have one with their school team. And then between our games and their school games, they're playing minimum 4 games a week.
Well, I think, and again, we talk about this all the time. I love using other sports and some of their coaches to talk about how sometimes we're getting things wrong. And Gino Auriemma talks about all the time that in Europe for basketball, they'll practice 6 days a week, play 1. And in the United States, they'll be playing 4 or 5 games a week and practicing once or twice. And he's like, and you wonder why when the European basketball players come over here, they're, regardless of whether they're 6 foot or 6'11", they all can dribble, they all can shoot, they all can dunk, they can do everything. And he's like, you don't learn in games all the time. You actually have to train more than you play. Otherwise, you're never going to actually learn anything.
Well, that was, I had a conversation with a parent this past weekend. They were kind of letting their voice out about it. That was a question I raised. I said, well, if the kids are playing, let's say they're playing 3 games for their school team that week, and they don't have any practices, maybe other than like the Monday before the first game, and they don't practice the rest of the week, where does the coach correct the mistakes in the games, and where do the kids get to visually see themselves, understand the mistake, put it into play, and then apply it into a game?
Yeah, I mean, they can't. I mean, especially even at the college level here, where we are playing 18 games in 2 months in the Division III level, we barely get to actually teach anything during season. It's brutal. And so it makes it difficult for a coach because it sets up an environment where your only litmus test is how you are performing in games and not necessarily how you are getting better on a day-to-day basis in training.
I do have to interrupt real quick because our group message is blowing up of our fans, mainly Bianca and Ian, are currently watching this, and I'm pretty sure that they're happy they just got a shout out. But, if you guys want to ask us questions, maybe you got an input on that. What do you think? Are kids, are you in an area where kids are playing way too many games at the youth level and they're not getting enough training? Let us know. Use the hashtag Soccer Chat, just like we do every single Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Let us know what your thoughts are. And I think, like I said, I find it crazy that these are bodies who are still developing. These are kids who are still trying or getting that love for the game. We wonder why kids burn out by the time that they're 14 and 15. I mean, like, there's no way in the world, granted my daughter's only 4, but like if it gets to this point, it's going to be like, hey, like you can try out for this club team, but if it's during school soccer and you want to play school soccer, club team's going to wait till soccer season's over with.
Yeah. I mean, it is one of those things where that's where you really need smart parents out there. And I think a lot of the problem is.
Please tell me you just called me a smart parent.
I cannot confirm or deny what I just said. But it's on record. It's recording. So I guess you can go back.
Yes.
But that's where I think a lot of education needs to happen with parents, because I think parents think this is the only way to make it. And that's not the case. And that's where I think the disconnect is. I think there's a ton of parents that think that you have to be traveling everywhere, playing club year round, doing all these things in order to make it. And there's a lot of different ways to make it. And sometimes that way is probably not the best way to go about doing it if you're not going to get burnt out or injured.
Yeah, it's I just find it so crazy that I've never been one that's like, oh, like we don't play enough games or we don't do this, we don't do that. But I've just always thought that, like, I guess now it's just like really hitting home. Like, yeah, like we do way too much. And again, where's the development in that? I've become such a big proponent about player development. What development is there just to play 4 to 6 games a week with one practice session at the very beginning of that? And, Tristan Tillett just giving us a shout out at TT Ellett. So it'd be T Tellett. He says, as coaches, we can gamification training. I don't know if I said that word right. This is what we do when we record. I don't know if I say words right, but gamification, there is quotations around it. Training to make it fun and still improve players and develop comprehensive attributes. That's what I'm saying. Like with my boys, the thing that we struggle with, and I don't know, and I'm trying to figure out a way if this is directly related to the school soccer setup, if we struggle with applying what we're working on in training into games.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see it across all levels, especially, I mean, being in the United States where we're struggling with soccer a little bit. I think one of the biggest problems we've had even at the men's senior team level is the fact that, like, I don't understand what we're doing out there half the time. Like, we're playing soccer and we're trying to move the ball, but like there never seems to be like a plan or purpose behind it. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that, especially at the lower levels, that you aren't able to implement a plan or purpose because you're playing more than you're actually training.
Yeah, I just think I mentioned to the parent too. I said, let's look at the professional level. They're maybe playing 2 games a week, if that. Like that's just based off of if they're in other cups and things along those lines. Just why do we expect so much out of the youth players? And I know I've talked about this before about, like, I know states that have sportsmanship points for teams and schools to where a yellow card is like -4 points from your school's sportsmanship tally, but yet there's no a technical foul is worth like -1, or a flag thrown on you in football isn't worth anything. Like where do we understand, like, why are we asking more out of the kids in soccer in America than we are of the professionals?
I don't know. There's a lot of weird rules at the youth level that I've never quite understood. I didn't, like, honestly. So I went to a camp this summer. This was crazy. I don't coach youth soccer at all. And we were, I think I had like U12s or U11s, somewhere around that age. And we were doing something and a girl went to head the ball and another girl was like, you can't do that. And like, I was like, well, it's not like not allowed. I mean, she's like, no, like for our club team, we're not allowed to head the ball at that age. And I never knew that. And like, that was crazy. Is that a thing? Like, is that a thing out by you guys?
Yeah. No, it's everywhere.
That's nuts.
To my knowledge, it is everywhere. It is, I believe. So my age group, the 13s, are the first age group where you can head a ball. Now, somebody made to my knowledge, I think it's 13. Hopefully somebody just wrote to us. That's out on Soccer Chat. Hashtag Soccer Chat. Let us know. I believe it is age 13 is the first age where you can head the ball. That was a big thing that I think, as I had mentioned before in a previous show, was a bit of a struggle in my time in Michigan with my real little bitty tight guys because we couldn't head the ball. And the ball was in the air majority of the time because we were just kicking the ball just to kick the ball because that's what the other teams were doing. So yeah, I would say, you know, just for camp this upcoming summer, you might want to check in on some of those youth rules. So that way somebody doesn't come after you for forcing kids to work on Brian McBride diving headers.
I mean, you know me, we weren't even like training it. It just like occurred through the run of play. And someone was like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, wait, why not? Like she's fine. Like
so here's the crazy other side to that though. So working with kids who come from that, where they weren't allowed to hit the ball, when it's in the air, I've never seen so many like the old jump up knee ball or thigh ball instead of heading the ball. Like every team that we've played so far does it. And I'm just like, hey, go win that with your head. And it's like they realize like, oh, I can do that now.
I mean, I think there's a reason when girls and guys get to our level and their depth perception is so bad. I think it starts with the fact that we don't allow them to head the ball.
Yeah. You guys can follow along with the hashtag Soccer Chat currently. Tristan, thank you. He says U12 headers, Coach Rizzo, no set pieces needed. So you would be perfect.
Dude, it's my calling. I figured it out. U12 national team coach. If you guys need one.
U12 national team. Oh my gosh. Like the thought of that, like, you know, somebody's going to commission that now.
Oh, it's in the next 5 years, it's going to happen. And when it happens, your guy's right here.
Yes. I hope that US Soccer is listening to this. If you need a U12 national coach, that Nick Rizzo is your man. Want to make sure to give a shout out to our friends at the Wisconsin Women's Soccer Advisory Council. You can follow them on Twitter at WI Women in Soccer. They have an awesome symposium celebrating females in sports coming up December 8th in Milwaukee with, well, I mean, the who's going to be there. You've got Anson Dorrance is going to be there, Stephanie Golan from University of Minnesota, and our good friend and buddy, Soccer Chat alum, Don Crow is going to be there as well. There's going to be a couple of, there's about 4 different panels and a keynote address. Obviously with a nice little networking lunch break in between. And then at the end of the night, the social. Looking forward to that one. But one thing that I am really looking forward to is I know that Don and Stephanie have really been working hard on their presentation of creating a culture. And I think that's something that a lot of us would be able to benefit from, because I know especially if you look at what Don has done at Stevens Point, if you look at what Stephanie's done at the University of Minnesota, you want to talk about creating culture. Those two are ones that you want to go to when it comes to that.
Absolutely. And I text Don all the time about questions. So now everyone can get to talk to Dawn and hear her talk as much as we are fortunate enough to do it. And I saw Jess Nash put something out the other day, who's, by the way, I need to give a huge shout out to her because I texted her earlier today and I was like, hey, I need some Soccer Chat people. And she like got back to me within like 2 seconds and gave me like 4 names. So Jess, you're awesome if you hear this. And also the early bird registration for that apparently ends this Sunday, open to men and women. So get on it, because you don't want to miss that early bird discount.
Who all do you text in a day? I feel like you mentioned that a lot, that you've texted various coaches. Like how many daily text messages of soccer coaches is going on your phone?
I don't know. I could probably look, right? I bet coaches today, 5 or 6.
Is your finger still broke? Yes. Oh no, it's just wrapped up. Or do you got to? Does it still got the splint on it?
Oh yeah. I don't have, my finger doesn't normally have this black part on it.
Yeah. So for those who are watching, you can see that, Nick did indeed not really break his finger, just like absolutely tore it up. Ruptured a tendon playing basketball.
I can still play though.
Well, yeah, shooter's got to shoot. Oh, shout out to Coach Cat. She's
Oh,
very sensitive and listening with her phone. Well, thanks, Kat.
we
Don't be
appreciate you,
sensitive.
Pat.
There's no need to be sensitive. This is all good. So soccer chat after party. I think it's a cool idea. I'd like to try to do it once a month where we just get on and take your guys' questions. If you're listening right now, send us a question via the hashtag soccer chat on Twitter, or shoot one to Nick or myself. That way we can answer anything you guys got going on. Last week's show with Ian was awesome, bearing the audio craziness because I said earlier to somebody, you could ask, like, there was not any echo the whole time we were interviewing them, but for whatever reason, when it came out, it had it.
No, it was fine.
There's nothing I can do about it. But obviously, we had soccer chat tonight. You can participate every single Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, going on the hashtag soccer chat, just like you can now, to send us some of your questions in. Any interesting questions or answers that you saw this evening?
Oh, I should probably pull these up. I knew you would like the social media one.
Yeah, but that one I feel like, and this is no disrespect to that question either, but I feel like that's something that at least once a month we get a question about, like, hey, what are you doing with your social media? And obviously I think I always think of it wrongly, of instead of saying directly what we're doing, I just keep saying the same thing of like, oh, like, you need to be showing behind the scenes look and giving people a feel of like what it's like to be a part of your program and what it's like to be you, rather than like, hey, this is what we're currently working on, which I think that's what the question was trying to get to tonight. And I feel really bad that I didn't answer it that way.
Yeah. I did like question 2 when I was talking about Corey Beecher was talking about what a person can do as a high school coach to help their players out. And I like that question a lot because, to be honest, I think that I don't know how many coaches know the answer to that are high school coaches. I think some do, but like, I mean, you obviously recruit as well. And we talked to a lot of college coaches where I'm not sure how many of them know how important it is to be connected with college coaches and to watch their games and to send them emails, because we rely on a ton of high school, a ton of club coaches. And it's the ones I have relationships with are typically the first people I'm going to with 4 players.
Yeah. I in my last time coaching high school, I would think that the last group of seniors I had, where a majority of them all went on to play college, I think that they also would agree that their high school coach, having college coaches in my network, really helped them in the process, because it was inviting the coaches, or it was chatting with the coaches on the phone about so-and-so player, or getting the college coach that kid's club schedule, and so that way they can go see him that way. So I definitely think that's the best thing for high school coaches, is to be connected with college coaches, but at the same time also use it as a development too, to where like, hey, like, can I come watch a session and things along those lines. It doesn't hurt to have that type of connection as a high school coach.
How many times do you think that high school coaches are trying to go watch college sessions? It's super common in basketball, and I think in football. I don't know how many high school soccer coaches are doing that.
This is going to sound awkward. I think it's not enough, because you do have college coaches constantly saying, if you want to come watch one of my sessions, just get a hold of me. I think that the opportunities are out there. I think it's one of those things where people aren't taking advantage of it. And maybe a lot of times, because high school coaches are so involved in the fall, college coaches are so involved in the fall, it's hard for one to break away from their schedule during a week to go. I mean, because high school teams are playing a crazy amount of games in a short period of time too. So for a coach to have to take off session or a day of training or a day of work to go watch a session during the fall, it could be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, and that's true. I know it's super commonplace in football and basketball. I haven't heard a ton of soccer people do it.
And it should be done more often. It really should. It bridges that gap and that networking between your community with when you do have a local college program, especially like if you have a local program that's really good. Why would you not want to watch the coach, especially if it's a very recognized coach or a coach who's very, very very, very good. Why would you not want to try to associate with that? So, if you are in the Monmouth area, y'all need to make sure you're contacting Coach Rizzo on Twitter and let him know that you want to come watch one of his sessions, and make sure to ask him to do a session on set pieces when you arrive.
Yeah, we'll totally do that.
Would you? Somebody's gonna do it. I just know.
If someone came and did that, we'd figure out a way.
You would call me and tell me to come in and run a session for a day.
I would live video it for you.
I think that would be a, speaking of social media, you and Mr. Reese are doing a fantastic job on that. And I believe that there is a SNL style sketch awaiting your guys' Twitter account about you guys working on set pieces.
We need something new. We haven't done anything like big in a little bit.
I was honestly thinking about that on the way home from Quinn's practice day. I was like, man, I was humming the Almost Paradise song because for whatever reason it made me think of your guys' video, and then I was just like, they haven't done anything like super cool in a while. I'm jonesing for more. So Reese, if you're listening to this, you need to get it going. But of course, it's hard for you guys to get that stuff done when you're scoring 25 goals a game.
I don't know. I've seen a few teams put up 10 plus the last few days, so I'm starting to feel a little less bad.
Well, you're not going to feel bad after you listen to this interview that's coming up. I think you guys are going to like it. Very informational, very inspirational, and it's a good one. We were really excited when we got this interviewee on, and you're going to like it too. And it's coming up right after this. So I'll stay on for the after party for a little bit. I got about 15 minutes. So you got 15 minutes?
Yeah, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, Nick's like, I'm scoring 25 goals a game. I don't need to do anything tonight.
A beer and a half.
Yeah.
Instead of 15 minutes, we have a beer and a half.
There you go. That's how we tell time on Soccer Chat. So you can still send us questions. Hit us up, hashtag Soccer Chat. Hey, we've got one here. Let's see. Ross, yes. So this was a question that he sent in earlier. This will be funny. This will definitely be like a at the end of the show thing. Ross David Minnick @_Coach Ross David. How do you sleep on a charter bus? Holy crap, this is unreal. This is such a necessary question for Soccer Chat.
Well, we don't have charter buses at Monmouth, so I can't. We drive vans, so I can't answer that one that well. I can sleep anywhere though, so I think if I got one of those things, it would be such a blessing that I'd crash the entire way. But the other issue I have too, and this is the problem I have on charter buses, we do get one a year, and I'm that guy that is social with the bus driver too early and I engage him too much, and then the entire time when I'm actually trying to sleep, the bus driver will keep asking me questions when I just want to go to sleep.
That sounds like a you problem, not a they problem.
It's a very I just can't. I need to shut myself down, not be social, and I'll be able to sleep.
I see. We had those in my time at University of Evansville, and ours were comfortable. I would have the 2 seats to myself, and would just kind of lay back, use my bag as a pillow, and would just kind of sit back, relax, put my headphones on, and fall asleep. Let's see here. Oh, Tristan's got some more for us. Hey guys, as a former college b-ball coach, we'd have a coach or 2 per week every year throughout the whole season. Man, okay, so as soccer coaches, we need to take more advantage of that. And he also mentioned, curious about the social media question. So many posts are the following: blank team won attorney, blank team beat this team, blank player committed to college X, very result space. Would love to see more player, parent stories and engagement.
I think we talk about this all the time, where you need to find the best way to show personality with your players and your coaching staff. Because to be honest, kids care about scores, but they can find that on a website. The things that I think a lot of teams are what Duke football did with the Bachelor in Paradise thing, and a lot of the teams that are doing different gift things and videos of their girls, or takeover days where there's a girl that will take over Instagram for a day and have you follow them around. And I think those are the cool things, because at the end of the day, they want to know who you are, the scores they can find anywhere.
Yeah. I was even going to say too, like, I think that kids aren't even going to go to your website to see what the scores are. They're going to go because they got Twitter or Facebook or Instagram so handy. That's where they're going to find out what your score was.
Absolutely. Like, and that it's not to discount those things. Like, those things need to be on there. But I do think that you have to find a way to show the personality of your team through that, because that's what kids care about. Like, the amount of girls that are deciding between us and another school based on record is almost non-existent. It's way more when they get to campus, how they feel after they leave campus.
Yeah. Kat Nichols is letting us know that she's only sensitive because she misses her chat soccer guys. Coach Rizzo, Coach Sauterline, training sessions and college prep meetings are keeping me from hanging out. Well, you know what I say to that, Kat? You tell those meetings, hey, it is Wednesday night, and I got to get with my soccer chat homies, because that's what we do on Wednesday nights. Every single Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. This is kind of Nick and I hanging out as we've recorded our intro, which normally takes us like 10 minutes to do. We went a little bit long with it today, but that's fine because this is going to be a special episode coming out. The soccer chat after party. Basically, it is what it is like to hang out with Nick. You have until he has his very last drink, and then the party is over with, and he's still rocking a beer and a half, I think, is what we got going for us. But the question that I asked during soccer chat about the whole realization of coming to reality with dreams and stuff like that, and I felt like, because I thought about this the other day, and I think it came across worse than what I actually meant it to come across as. But when I mean like dreams that are unobtainable, I think when people read that, they just instantly turn on this motivational speaker. All dreams are obtainable. You just have to work hard. And I get that. But at some point, that dream does become unattainable because of various factors. So, if your whole goal in life was to coach Liverpool, that's all you ever wanted to do, would you say currently right now that is an obtainable goal for you to do?
No.
Maybe the Liverpool U12s
or the Liverpool women's team. I think it would be hard to get back. And like, for me, like, if I'm going to climb anywhere, like, I'm still young, but
you're a grizzled young vet.
To switch genders and go the pro route is, like you said, probably, like, if we're going percentage wise, like, it's like I have a worse chance than Leicester had of winning the Premier League 3 years ago.
and I also mean that as, so, like, in order to coach a pro team, like, you basically have to have your A license, whether it's a UEFA or a US soccer one, and that's not going to happen with me. That's super, super expensive. I don't even have a C license. Like, that's the point where you start realizing, like, hey, like, this isn't going to happen. And I know, yes, there's scholarships and there's things along those lines, but you have life that happens as well. So how do you cope with that to realize, like, hey, like, this is what I want to do. This is what I've been working hard for 15 years to do. And I'm not saying that my goal was to coach the professionals, because we all know that's not happening anytime soon or even before, even though in the early 2000s, when Chelsea's opening would come open, I would send a resume to somebody in London.
I mean,
I would find the only email address on Chelsea's website and send them my resume. But we've got a question. Kat Nichols at Coach Cat 18 talking about going out to college training sessions. What are your thoughts on inviting college coaches out to your sessions to watch players or to help you by giving feedback on sessions? Part of that, that would count as a on-site evaluation, wouldn't it?
Or
an off-campus evaluation for a college coach to come to your session to watch players.
We can. Our rules allow us to go watch training sessions. Like, we can coach them.
But isn't that considered like a off-campus evaluation?
I'm not sure what you mean.
So like like D1, D2, like the whole like off campus to go watch. Like I know I've had a training session before where a Division 2 coach showed up to my high school practice and watched from the parking lot.
I
Because
guess
had he been on the field, that would have counted as an off-site or an off-campus evaluation.
that probably is different for Division 1 and Division 2. Then I do not know that rule.
Yeah, because you guys don't have any rules.
That's not true at all. We can't. Our social media rules suck.
What are your social media rules?
So like D1 and D2 can all like follow kids and like be friends with them, follow them on Instagram. We can't do any of that stuff.
Well, why don't you take the lead and get that changed?
It'll be changed by January 1st, I think. I think that it's up for proposal this year for the D3 convention, or I don't even know what you call it, but the D3 meeting. And I think it'll be passed by January.
Well, didn't the D1, D2 that just got passed like a year or two ago? Like that's fairly new.
It's within the last year.
So then it's making its way. You have to be patient, young grasshopper.
Oh, I'm gonna you know me. That's gonna be it's funny.
That's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be bad, but like there's coaches that will do it the wrong way, but there's also like the problem is, for example, so we had a girl post that she had committed to Monmouth College, posted a picture, tagged me in it, and I can't like it. Like I can't even like that post. I can't even.
And you are a habitual liker.
I know. I give everyone support all the time. Just click that like and do it. But like that. So like I'll have to I will screenshot and shoot her a text and be like, "Hey, can't do anything about this, but thank you. Really appreciate it. Super excited."
Yeah, that.
It's just weird.
Yeah. I remember like before that whole thing was the big thing I had heard from an AD at one point was if it takes more than 2 clicks, it's not legal. So like hopefully that would just just liking a tweet's 1 click. That doesn't really mean anything. But shout out to Corey Beecher. He's we just gave him a shout out earlier, getting on and checking this thing out. I had a question too I was going to ask you. So what you do you still have your ideas for the next Soccer Chat t-shirt?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you have to send those to me because I know I've had a couple people ask, so we've got to make sure to get those. We'll get those designs up, and will allow people to vote on them for the next one. And there has been some asking if we would re-add the just want to win all the soccer games to that voting process or make that one as a feature. We'll have to think about that one. But I've seen a lot of pictures this season of people rocking their Nick Rizzo I just want to win all the soccer game t-shirt at games. And that is such an awesome sight to see. And you're smiling from ear to ear because you know how awesome it is.
No, it's pretty cool. I have one of the coaches at our school has one, and she wears it to every game.
Shout out to Izzy.
I saw her tonight. We did a recruiting and pizza night tonight.
Recruiting and pizza night.
Yep.
So besides eating pizza, what do you do on recruiting and pizza night?
We all have our list of recruits we need to talk to, and so I printed out a list of recruits I need to talk to. We got a conference room, and there were 4 of us coaches, and we sat around the conference room and texted all of our recruits and ate pizza that I bought.
What an evening. And you get paid to do this. Like I want somebody to watch this right now, and they're like, that dude gets paid to get a hold of recruits and eat pizza at the same time.
Yeah, no, it was delicious too.
So would I be remiss if I didn't tell my story about my amazing cat-like reflexes this week?
I mean, I want to know, by the way, before we get to that, did you see the CU mascot with the t-shirt launcher? Oh my God. So the mascot had one of those t-shirt cannons.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what happened, but it backfired and just nailed them in the nuts.
You said CU?
Yeah, it was Colorado.
Oh, Colorado.
I think it's on Barstool.
On Barstool?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what we do live. Like when we're actually recording our show, we'll just kind of start. I have 2 fat thumbs and I can't type. because instead of typing Barstool, it is Baystool. Let's see here. I've got to see this. I want like my live reaction to this. Oh, here we go. Oh, I missed it. That happened way too quick. Oh,
it's so bad.
Oh man, like you gotta like really oh
like that thing. I mean, you've seen how far those things launch, and like a rolled up t-shirt is not soft. It's so bad.
Okay, so here's the bad thing. I hate when watching people get hurt. I can't stop watching those types of incidents. Like,
why is he pointing it the wrong direction?
Is it pointed the wrong direction?
Yeah, that's
or
the problem.
Did it just backfire?
No. Like, so the way it is it's like it looks like I don't know how he does this. The tube, it's just like a lever that you pull, and he has the lever facing the wrong direction.
I love the reaction of the dude in the front with the gray number 11 jersey. He's just like, oh. Yeah, okay, so the guy that's holding was that CO2 that they use in those things? Yeah. The dude rocking the CO2 tank is of no help whatsoever.
No.
Like, how hard is it? How hard would it be to be like, what is their mascot? The Buffalo? Hey, Buffalo, you got that t-shirt gun pointed the wrong way, my guy. How hard does that take? Because it takes them so long to like get the t-shirt in there and like get it all set up that you couldn't have been like, hey, my guy, turn the cannon around.
Like, it's so bad. I don't like seeing people get hurt either, but I don't know. Nut shots are still kind of funny.
They're always funny. And I have to get off Barstool real quick because all I saw was Eminem kill shot and it will make me go crazy. So as we wrap up here. So what do you think about maybe once a month doing a little soccer chat after party?
I think it's pretty fun.
For like 45 minutes afterwards, just kind of talk with people and answer some questions, and they can see us do our thing. So we bring up the whole like nut shot thing. We didn't explain my cat-like reflexes. So as Nick pointed out in one of our earlier summer episodes, that I'm now back working full-time in a K-8 school, and my cat-like reflexes and also my quick agility. At one point this week with one specific student in kindergarten, I went on 3 races to track them down and to get them where they were supposed to go. Had to go halfway around a track and was like, not doing this today. I'm not wearing the shoes for it. I'm not in the mood to run, but okay, we're going to run. And then was just hanging out, holding hands, walking and sitting down in our seat. And I felt some pearly whites on my hand. And before it could chomp down, just pulled my hand out. Was like, no, that's not what I signed up for. But I was very, very impressed with myself with how quickly I was able to move in basketball shoes, by the way, and on freshly cut grass with all white shoes. Mr. Sauerling was not very happy. Needless to say, I did make the comment. Somebody was like, I think if I went all the way through, I probably would have like just taken the rest of the day off and went and had a drink somewhere. But so am I the only person who sometimes I'll read our questions and it's like, I'll just kind of be like, yeah, I don't really care about that question. Like, is that bad of me? And it's not that I don't care about a question. It's just like, I don't have any input to it. So I'm just like, I'm waiting for the next one.
I mean, I think as our fearless leader, I think you need to find that motivation to get the answers out there, because people are curious. Or maybe we should just answer them live.
I don't think that people are curious about my answer.
Oh, they are.
I highly doubt that. So like, for instance, and maybe this is something I don't really like do as a coach or whatever. Maybe I just consistently prove to myself how bad of a coach I am. But the whole like, again, this is not a knock on the question or the person who asked it. It's just I don't have any interest in it. The whole back foot question thing. Like I just kind of like zoned out.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I just answered it quick. I just said I think the back foot's further away from the ball.
I mean that like I feel like that's the answer. Like whatever foot is furthest from the ball, that's the back foot.
Yeah, that's all I wrote, and the guy said agree. So I did my part.
Well, there you go, Matt Brewer at Matt Brewer Coach. There you go. Anytime you guys come on Soccer Chat and you have a question, something like that, make sure to ask Nick because Nick will get you the answers as quickly as possible and the truest definition of the answer too. Because I think if we really want to be common about it, we want to have common sense. What is a back foot? The foot farthest away from the object. So what do you now we're asking about lead foots. Obviously the foot that's closer to the object. Boom, there we go. I wish I would have answered that earlier. So what do you have upcoming this weekend?
Game Saturday, game Monday, and then a few the following week. So hopefully I get all those done.
So at what point is your team going to get ranked?
Never.
Why?
We don't like our conference isn't over the top great, and so it won't help us to win there. Like we would have to go undefeated to get ranked.
Which I mean, like anything's possible except when you play Beloit.
Except when we play Beloit. Beloit had a big win tonight.
Hey, they're coming for you.
I mean, I was texting Connor was one of the 6 coaches I texted today. So there you go.
Speaking of which, I hope that he might watch this at some point and realize that that package that he's supposed to be sending me.
Since we're still here, I will give shout outs to all the coaches I texted tonight.
Yeah, let's do that. Who all have you texted today?
Chris from Knox, Connor from Beloit, Luigi from Webster, Don Crow, TR from Lake Forest.
Wake Forest?
Lake Forest.
Lake Forest. I think you said Wake Forest.
Yep. And Marissa Kresge from Wisconsin. Though technically that's one from last night. She responded at 6:38 a.m. and I was not awake at that point. And I haven't responded yet.
Marissa Kresge. That's a blast from the past. I haven't heard her name in a while.
They're having a great year up at Wisconsin. Go Badgers.
Maybe that's why we haven't heard from her because she's so in the grind.
She's big time now.
She's so in the grind, and that's why they're successful. Gosh, if I would just grind harder.
Big OT win against Illinois this weekend.
Oh, well, action against Jeffrey. Hey, okay, so admittingly, I have not watched a ton of college soccer in the last couple of weeks. I have just been like between club soccer, watching things with AB, doing social media work, and actual work. I have just not been able to find a lot of time to watch games, but I did catch that opening weekend with the Fighting Jeff Freemans of Illinois with the big win. Was it over Duke and a couple other teams?
Dude, Illinois, Janet and Jeff are crushing it over there in Illinois right now. They had a great non-conference season.
Jeff crushes everything just like pizza. He and I crushed the pizza together.
I mean, again, I got to see him at the U.S. Women's National Team game, and I met Janet Rayfield, who's a legend of the women's game, while holding 4 beers. But that was impressive.
I wouldn't have it any other way. There was a way for you to meet somebody.
The problem is, like, I had a few at that point, to be honest, and so I was holding 4 beers and I was bringing it back. So I have if you can see this right now, I have 4 of them like this. And I see Jeff because, I mean, Jeff's big and bald. So it was really easy to find him. It's like, Jeff. He's like, hey, Nick, how's it going? Come over and say hi to me. And then he's walking over and I've never met Janet before. But again, legend of the women's game. And I see her and he's like, by the way, this is Janet Rayfield. I was like, yeah, I know who you are. I was like, hi, Nick.
I'd shake your hand, but both my hands are double fisting right now.
So I've yet to shake Janet Rayfield's hand, but hopefully I get to work at camp with you, Jeff and Janet, and I can actually have a proper introduction instead of a little bit of a drunk introduction.
Let's see. So I've got a tournament in Louisville this weekend, but next Friday, the Fighting Bianca Hadagis Keels are coming to my town to play in a game. And Quinn asked me if we could have a daddy-daughter date to the soccer match. So we will be heading out that way to go see Bianca this season. Is there what all people from Soccer Chat like have you been able to catch games of?
Oh God,
I know that's kind of your big thing. As soon as we interview people, like you're catching all the games that you can.
I kind of need to pull. Let me pull up the list of people really quick. 1 second. Give me 2 seconds. I need to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
So this is another thing that we do during the podcast is every now and then Nick does have to step up and go to the potty. But hey, right now it's the Sean Sarling show. So we've actually just gotten done recording our first opening segment where we kind of talk about the Wednesday night chat. We talked about our interview. We just kind of talk about things that we've done this week already. And this is the Soccer Chat after party. If you want to send us something, just go onto Twitter and use the hashtag Soccer Chat or tweet it directly to Nick and myself. And then that way we can get your answer and or your question basically and answer that for you. Hey, that was like the quickest restroom break ever.
I'm back. All right, you ready? I can go through the list.
Yes. Who all have you watched from Soccer Chat?
Ian Wilson, Joe Sagar, Katie Reese.
Obviously.
See. Well, John Bush is now with men's IUPUI, so I got to see them play once. Let's see. Freeman, Ian Henry.
Which they their school just announced they're changing conferences.
Yep, that was I just said that. Both Jamie and Katie, Jamie Forbes, Katie Berkebeck, Bruce Erickson with you and I, Ange Kelly. I watched the game. Matt Mott watched the game.
I will see Bruce October 5th. He will be in town. We're going to try and meet up for some pizza.
Big OT win the other day.
Yeah.
Get on them. Have not seen Mike Melton yet. I need to watch one of his. Watched Pitt with Randy. I watched the Chicago Red Stars, so I saw Gary Curneen last night. Let's see.
Have you watched Scott Phipps or Jaron Hume yet?
I have not watched either of them yet.
Jaron's going to be very upset.
I need to get one of them.
Actually, you know who's going to be really upset? Have you watched the Ohio Dominican game yet?
I have.
Oh,
I got both. I haven't gotten down. I'm going backwards. I haven't gotten Nathan or Patrick yet, but I've seen both of their teams play. I've seen A&M play, and I've seen Dominican play. Paul Lawrence at Florida Southern. Seen Marissa Kresge. I saw Stu Riddle. Bianca Cliff Andean. Kobe I watched. Haven't seen John Friedel yet.
They've been doing awesome.
I don't know why I haven't seen this yet. I haven't watched the Mississippi State game, so I haven't seen Kagan yet.
Oh, Matt Kagan.
That's like a lot of these are blasts from the past at this point. I haven't watched a Matt Smith game yet. I need to watch an OUAZ game. I watched the Brown game, Raleigh, shout out. I watched the Notre Dame game, so we got Smurf there. Don Crow, I've watched like 4 of your games. And then that's it. So a lot. I've seen a lot.
You are a busy guy.
Dude, it's when you're not married and don't have kids, it gives you a lot of time to do a lot of things that are other people may find boring, but I watch soccer.
Do you think that you are motivation for people who may listen to this who are like toying with the idea of getting married and having kids, that they're like, you know what? No, you
just don't have to.
There's no rule that says you have to have either one of those things in your life.
Yeah, absolutely do not.
So I'd be remiss because I think we talked about that last week about like, I don't remember the exact wordage, but I remember listening to the show, and so I was in my car heading to Indianapolis, and I was like, ooh. Like, I know what I said, but I think if my wife heard that, she would be like, oh, so like you don't want to be married now. Ian Wilson says, Nick, you got to watch 6 games at a time.
Dude,
I don't think you have as many screens as Ian Wilson has.
Ian is what I aspire to be. Every time I get a screenshot from him or we get a screenshot from him, it is freaking like I don't even know he's watching all the games, but then I'll ask him about a play from a game and he'll know exactly what just happened. So the dude just must have the best peripheral vision of all time.
But you got to know that of his like 6 screens, one of them currently is on the Soccer Chat after party.
I mean, I respect Ian.
Somebody asked me this the other day. Now would be a cool time to ask if you could have any 5 soccer coaches on Soccer Chat, who would it be?
This is gonna sound weird. I have a few that like I would be curious to talk to. So,
and what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Because that's almost like a when somebody says, "I don't mean to disrespect," or I mean this with no disrespect. It typically means they're disrespect. So when you say like, yeah,
everything that comes after the word "but" is
So you're like, I'm curious about him. So it's not so much like you want them on; you're just curious.
No, both. But like Bruce Arena would be one of mine.
I said soccer coaches. Oh, Bruce Arena. Why did I just? I thought you were talking about Bruce Pearl. I could have swore you said Bruce Pearl. And I've been drinking Propel. I've had Propel all night. So.
No, yeah, I'd be really interested to talk to Bruce Arena just because.
Arena, not Pearl.
Not Pearl. I think that would be a really interesting conversation. Pep, obviously, I think I would love to talk to Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, because they're my favorite team, obviously. And then I'll get some local ones. Let's see. I would say I'd really like to talk to Caleb Porter.
Okay.
Because he obviously did the college thing very successfully and then made the transition to professional and has worked at various levels with the men's national team. So he'd be an interesting one to talk to. And to be honest, like this is another, like, again, do you want me to do like ones that we can actually get or like more reach ones?
The question was, if you could interview any 5 soccer coaches, who would it be?
Oh gosh. I mean, then Anson Dorrance, easy. That's the last one.
Well, hopefully if you get signed up for the Wisconsin Women's Soccer Symposium, you can run into Anson and be like, hey, man.
Oh, I didn't even count Jess Nash. I talked to Jess Nash and Jen Demos today through text message.
Oh, shout out to Jen Demos.
She was awesome. Well, because I had the one, and I don't want to say it because hopefully we can get her on our show, but one of the people that we mentioned that was one of her coaches, I texted her to get her cell phone number, and Jen got back to me in like 2 seconds.
Oh, cool.
Jen's awesome.
Go yes, Jen is very awesome. Very awesome. Going to do big things when her GA time is done. So did you finish your 5th person? Because you said Porter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because you said Anson. So Anson, Porter, Pep, Klopp. Okay, Ian Wilson is incredible. I don't know how many of you guys actually like text or connected with Ian, but he's given us the setup. Let's see. How many tabs did he have open up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tabs. Looks like he's clipping games, and on top of that, rocking out to the after party.
I mean, I don't have nearly as many tabs as him. He's much better.
And totally weird, but somebody sent me a screenshot the other day of I was trying to help them with something with their browser, and their inbox was up, and there was 4,576 new unread messages in their inbox, and I was just like, I can't even focus right now. How do you let that happen?
You should.
Have you not emailed or have you not checked your email in the last 4 years?
I don't know. That's ridiculous.
That's bad. That's bad. So we're coming up. I was really only planning on doing this for like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, but we're coming up on almost an hour. So we still do have to get the show together so that way you guys can get it in the morning. So make sure you subscribe. Go on to iTunes or Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast out or you're listening. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. It lets us know that you're getting it. I know I do not have an Android phone or a Google phone, anything like that, but I do know that with Apple Podcasts, if you subscribe, as soon as the show gets uploaded, it will automatically get uploaded to your phone. I think, Nick, with you said with your Google phone, you get a notification that the new one is up.
How is that like 3 a.m.? But yes.
So I try to make sure. Yeah. So I try to, I normally try to have it in by midnight, and I used to always go off of Eastern time when we started off with the show. And now I'm like, oh, it's like 1 a.m. Eastern time. But hey, it's 12 o'clock somewhere. But yeah, so make sure you guys subscribe. If you like the after party, maybe we should try to do it like on a Saturday night sometime. That would be kind of cool. Just have like a big party here for everybody. But as we wrap up, just get our plugs in. Obviously, thanks to everybody at Social Media for the High School Athletes. Because of them, we can do all the stuff with you guys for Soccer Chat. Soccer Chat basically is social media for the high school athletes. Without them, there is no Soccer Chat. Without you guys, there's no Soccer Chat as well, because this is a listener supported show. It's a listener or participant supported Wednesday night chat, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, every single Wednesday night. Just get on there, follow the hashtag Soccer Chat, get the show on all your platforms. So that way we know what you guys are listening. Leave us a nice little 5-star rating review. Buy the shirts when it comes out. And we are working on a deal. We're trying to get this this whole Chicago meet and tweet thing going. Hopefully we have something on that coming up fairly shortly. I think you guys are going to be wanting to be interested in going to Chicago sometime in January, because I believe registration just opened up for that as well. Plus, I mean, like, Nick runs Chicago, so he'll be there, and everybody can go meet the fabulous Coach Rizzo, and hopefully he signs your shirt if you have a Nick Rizzo shirt.
Oh God, I don't know.
That would be awesome. But as always, you guys know what it is. He's Nick. I'm Sean. The best part about this after party is that sometime soon we'll do it again. Nick, we'll catch you later.
Catch you later, brother.